amazing now that you're clean. Only you know who the real ones are, 'cause you see.
Oh, I always think that's a good place to begin B1G1 Connect Plus with something called Amazing. That, of course, was Seal. But isn't it amazing that we can join each other via this thing called the World Wide Web, the internet, whatever it is, that brings you and I together right now, this morning here in Singapore, 20 past 7 in the morning. But that means people joining us from New York. It's about, excuse me, 20 past 7 in the evening where you are. But wherever it is that you are, I am thrilled. And on behalf of all of the people in B1G1, thrilled that you're absolutely right here joining us on number 10, actually, this is, of B1G1 Connect Plus. Now, interestingly, I'm usually in the B1G1 office when we do these things, but today, happen to be at home. I have a little sick child today who's actually sleeping because he's been up half the night, and so have I, actually. But anyway, not to worry. We have got a fascinating 35 minutes coming up for you. And let me just preview that for you. This is, actually, before I preview it, let's do this. Let's find out from you. Let me just go share my screen for a second. And let's find out from you where you are. Really, really important to get some connection going and so on. So I'm just going to share the screen. And let's see, I'm going to share that screen right there. And then I'm going to press this button right here. And all we want you to do, you can see it's referencing the chat button. So you are there somewhere. Wherever you are, please jump in on the chat and let us know whereabouts you are in the world. And let me know that we're coming through loud and clear. Just put a yes on the loud and clear, or maybe even, no, it's a bit choppy, or whatever it is. Do let us know. Jump up there on the chat. Now, yesterday when we did the other time zone version of this, I spent probably 5 minutes talking with everybody. Oh, hello, John, hello, whatever. And so we went over time. So I'm not going to do that this morning, but I do want to thank you for contributing, for jumping on the chat, and for letting me know where you are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get underway. Here is what we're going to do. As you know, if this is one that you've been to before, we're going to start talking with about 5 minutes or so. Actually, a little bit more today, where I talk about the huge power of small. Then we're going to actually skip this thing called Partner Point. I'll tell you why that is in a moment. Then we're going to get into Masami's update, which actually includes a nice surprise. And then right at the end, I am going to give you another surprise as well. So I guess that's all kind of making sure that you stay right through to the end of our time together. So let's begin by getting into this, the huge power of small. Now, in a sense, that's a paradox, or it is this morning anyway, because let's talk about what we're going to be doing. Actually, just ahead of that, if this happens to be your first one, let's just flip up here on the screen. As you can see, all of the ones that we've done before. For example, pricing, acknowledging, business building, presenting, signage. As you can see, that one on presenting, by the way, was just a classic. Well, they're all classics, actually. Number 6, it was all about giving. Number 7, it was about behavioral economics. Oh, some stunning stuff in that. Then something very interesting about being the best in the world, and a guy called Paul Jackson will remember what happened on that, because that's where the boom comes from. And then on our previous one, we did something around words and spirit, which again, a lot of people liked. Now, that's all of the ones in the past. By the way, if this is your first one, then what you can do is actually drop me a line, paul@b1g1.com, and ask us to send you an amalgamation of all of those things, so you're not missing out on all of the great stuff that's been there on the Connect Pluses before today. So that leads us to today. And we are going to be talking about, on number 10, this, playing a bigger game. And that's, in a sense, isn't it? That's a paradox, that we're talking about how the power of small helps us play a bigger game. Now, in order to do that and to understand where this is going, I want to take you to a place, first of all, that's rather special, that I'm pretty sure most of you did not get to because of distance. But it may be that a couple of us online here actually went. And what I'm referring to is the B1G1 100 Million Conference, which was up there in Bali. Now, just so that you can see where, how you missed and what you missed, have a look at this, and then we'll show you what happens or how this relates to you and I playing a big game. Here we go.
We're breaking through. Can you feel it too? We're breaking through. Somehow, well, I just know the dreams do come true. We're breaking through. Yeah. Now, we're breaking through. Can you feel it too? We're breaking
Stop the share for a moment and point out that what the reason that I wanted to show you that is because it leads into this whole thing about playing a bigger game. Now, to explain that, let me do it this way. At the conference, everybody, and this is not an exaggeration, even though it might sound like it, everybody, that is to say, every single person, rated it the best conference they had ever been to. And that's coming from people who attend lots of conferences as well. And so one night, and it was amazing to be a part of it. And so I would speak to some people and say, you know, why was this the best one that you've ever attended? And universally, people said, you know what, I learned so much, connected in different ways. But the thing that I got most of all was that it's possible to play a bigger game. And everybody, including me, by the way, got that. And since then, of course, people have been playing bigger games. Now, so what I want to do is show you some examples, not just of the people at the conference playing the games, but what it takes for you and I to play a bigger game. And I think when you look at this, it's really going to surprise you as to what it is and how small it is. Now, to give you an example of what we mean by this, let me go share my screen again. Excuse me. And where we're going to go this time is right up here. And I want to show you this now. This particular thing that I'm going to show you is this person is not yet a B1G1 client. They will be next week, by the way. But they are in Perth, and that you can see they're a firm of accountants, as it happens. Now, let me just blow this up for you so you can see where this is going. This is something that they're doing called the $1 Million Challenge. Now, of course, as you look at this, you will notice that there is a spelling error right around here. In fact, let me see if I can just annotate this, and you will see right there is where I'm thinking the spelling error should be, or is where's the apostrophe. But what I really want to show you is this. Look at this. So let's assume for the moment that is a great headline. Doesn't matter whether it is or whether it isn't. But this is the bit that I want you to have a look at. This bit right, let me see if I can do it. There we go, right there. Notice what's actually happening is what they've done is they've gone through this thing up here and then they've gone into this, and notice that's all about the what. In other words, you know, this is what we'll be doing, your mixture of cost reduction and so on. And one of the things that I've learned is that if we focus on that, then we will automatically be playing a smaller game as opposed to a bigger one. Now, let me illustrate what I mean by showing you this. If we could replace that text that we had highlighted with this, let me show you. Here we go, right there. Oh, I know what I have to do. Sorry, right there. Now we'll get to replace it. There it is. We're doing this to make a real impact, an impact on the lives of each and every client and their families. And we're certain, they say, that impact will flow over to our community and to our world. Come and join us. Now, everybody that we show that to, and by the way, this has only happened in the past week or so, everybody that we show that to says, oh my gosh, that is just so much more compelling. Now, of course, the reason that it's compelling is that it's clear that they're playing a bigger game. But what some of you who are familiar, if you like, with the sorts of things that we talk about in B1G1 will know that what that actually is, that little thing that we added on right there, is a why. And the point is, and we're going to talk later on about Simon Sinek and why and everything else, once you get into that why and you articulate it in the way in which these guys have here, it forces you to play a bigger game. Let me give you another example. This from a coaching business. We make sure, it says, that our clients achieve their goals and fulfill their dreams. Pretty interesting. And in fact, when you would go into their office, they would have this thing up that says, we help people fulfill their dreams. And I pointed out a number of little challenges with this, and that is that one of the things that that presumes is that clients actually know and can articulate what those goals are. But again, it's still playing not a big enough game in our view. So let's see how we can just add in some words here and see if that automatically helps them play a better game. Look at this. We help our clients vastly exceed what they thought they could achieve so that they can play a bigger game. Oh, it's the words, interestingly, which is then reflected in their families, in our community, in our country, and in our world. Now, one of the things you automatically get, at least I hope you automatically get, is that that is upping everything, isn't it? And so one of the things that we want you to do is to think about how you might be able to do that. Now, later on, as through all of this, I'm going to give you an additional resource that is going to help you do that. So there you go. That's the power of small. Now, we normally on these get into a thing called partner point, but we're not going to do that today. We did have a brilliant guy in South Africa, Johannesburg, but because of internet connections, didn't actually work. So what we're going to do is we are going to jump straight to, we're going to miss that one, and we are going to jump straight to this one right here, which is Masami's update. Now, remember I mentioned about internet connections and all of those kind of things. So what we actually did, particularly for this early time in the morning, we actually recorded what Masami had to say to the people who were joining us on the other time zone. And it was awesome stuff. In fact, she didn't have just one update, she had 4. And so let me just do this. If I just, for example, just go up here, excuse me, looking away for a moment, and all I'm going to do is get into a new share. So let me just see if Zoom works for me in order to, excuse me, in order to do that, and indeed it does.
Hi, Paul, and hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So yeah, I go into then the B1G1 update, and this time I have.
Did you want to tell everybody where you are today? Because you're not at the B1G1 office either.
Hi, Kerry. Yeah, I'm working from home today, and normally I'm at the B1G1 office. So yeah, but it's so amazing, isn't it, that we could be connected from anywhere around the world. Paul being in one of the B1G1 businesses office, they're in Singapore, and working from home, but you could be connected from wherever you are. So yeah, thank you for choosing to be here. So the B1G1 update this month have.
Am I right in saying you've got 4 things for us today? Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So let me just do my screen share. Okay, so the one of the 4 updates. So Paul began this call with the intro video. You can get the access to the smooth, nice version of it from late after this call. But here are some of the pictures. You can see the kind of like experience we had right there, and. One of the really great thing about the conference was, of course, the connection. We don't get connected to each other because we are in many different parts of the world. So this is a very, very good opportunity. So that aspect was fantastic. Another part of it, because it's the theme of the conference was business for good, and we kind of crafted the entire content based on how we can together maximize our impact by growing our business, but also growing our giving at the same time. And we tried to do that with everything we did during this conference. So we had special 5 keys to cover during the conference, starting with purpose, and then during the 5 themes, we introduced two very special speakers, and they came online because they couldn't be here there. So one person is I'm sure everybody is familiar with him, Simon Sinek. So he did a special interview with Paul and shared new insight, which we haven't heard of actually, like on
no, it's new stuff.
Yeah, very new things. And then we listened to Daniel Flynn from Australia, amazing organization called Thank You, and his journey of entrepreneurship, getting started to becoming amazing leader. And so we thought those kind of things would be a great thing to share with you, even though some of you couldn't be there. So we put everything together, all of the 5 keys, not just the session, some of the session videos, but some of the insight that we kind of got out of that, and then put it on a page. So what we will be doing is we will be sending you a link where you can access all that in one place. So please check your email afterward. You don't need to remember the link right now. So the next update is, last time I think I mentioned that book Giving Business was coming up. And we did official launch at the conference as well. So this book published, the latest book published by Buy One Give One, is a book which is dedicated to you as well, because you you can find the link on B1J1 site. But another thing which we just launched, which is quite new, is the impact test. So just after reading the book, you could actually go and then take an impact test, which is a simple test where you could just answer a set of questions and find out about your impact score. And you can share that with others and invite others to take the impact test, or your team members might want to see how they are doing and so on. So the Giving Business book and impact test are available from this link, givingbusiness.global. And again, you don't need to memorize it, because we'll be sending you the email with all the links. So the next thing is, when we think about giving, and we are just so always amazed by your continuous giving, and how you incorporate your giving message in your business, on your website, and so on. Sometimes what happens is, because when we are doing what we do, and we are working at the office, and we are dealing with different business issues on a daily basis, it might not be as easy to connect with the actual giving that you are doing. So we've been working quietly behind the scene to try to add a bit more experience to your overall joy of giving. So now I want to show you, just in case you haven't actually discovered it by exploring everywhere in the B1J1 system, I'd like to show you where you can find that additional little inspiration and surprise. So let me just go to the website. I hope you can see this here.
We can.
And so,
we can.
Can you?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So when you go on the site, and the very familiar page, is the project listing page. But under that tab, you may or may not have noticed this item link called the project update. Right. So if you click on the project update link, now what happens is that all of the updates that's relevant to you, because you have given to the project of the organization, will automatically come up as we add, what it calls is add more updates. So this is just my account, but if you scroll down, you could see the updates from different organizations, and some updates have an image, and let's say you liked this image, then if you click that, you could get, expand the image, download the image as well. Scroll down, and then what you can do is you can also see in relation to the giving that you have done. So it lists the past impact activities that you have done for this project, and then some stories or pictures, or sometimes videos, new update videos, and so on. So what that gives you is the ability for you to let's say say to your team members, saying like, well, you remember that we donated, we gave like so many bricks, and then now there was an update about this project, and this is what happened. So this is a great place to occasionally check and connect with. And I hope like sometimes when you feel like, well, I need an extra just a little bit more extra inspiration, then you go there and then get connected with your giving as well as with your purpose too. So that's the third item. So now back to the final thing. So the fourth item, this actually got launched during the conference as well. So you could see like how so many things got released and launched during the Business for Good conference. But because many of you actually haven't seen this, I wanted to highlight this very special opportunity, a program called the B1G1 Champion Program. And so what happens is, if in the past you wished that, well, I wish I could introduce B1G1 to other business owners in a more effective way. If you had a thought like that, then you can say, well, I want to become a B1G1 champion. And what that gives you straight away is some things like you can use. One is this seemingly familiar unlock the power of giving key, which is loaded with additional content such as like PowerPoint presentation you may want to use to talk about your involvement, or some additional videos or project images that you can use, and so on. So it's got all sorts of things loaded in there. And then another thing is you could also get this little bumper sticker, which is also a sticker that you can put on your office or shop window, or to show you are part of Business for Good. And also it gives you a unique code that you can give to others. We call it the champion code. So when people use this champion code to sign up with B1G1, then of course your accounts get linked together, but also there will be a special giving credit gift given to both you and then the person you introduced to B1G1. So you could kind of spread their giving footprint and create a greater impact together. So this is really all about power of connection, power of purpose, power of giving, and you being part of this community means so much to us. And we are always kind of listening and trying to learn from your experience, because you are the ones who are in business, championing the giving business, as well as making a difference. So we would love you to have in the champion group, because from here we will be having a dialogue and discussion within the champion group to really lead like what champions can do. So these like things that I talked about and showed you is just the initial beginning of what you will receive as a champion, as a part of Champion Kit. But after that, we will be inviting you into a special dialogue to really see how we can spread this giving community and create many more giving businesses around the world. So
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
update.
Okay. Thank you very much, Masami.
And if you are thinking, well, I'm really interested in becoming a B1G1 champion, then there is a link in the email that you receive, and you can click to just get the email window open, and that will send the email to Paul. So all you need to say is, I want to become a B1G1 champion.
Very good. Very, very good. Masami, just one thing.
Okay, let me just stop that right there. Thank you very much for watching that. And what I'm going to do, by the way, some fascinating things, weren't there? Like, for example, so many people have been commenting on the wonderful stuff around the project updates, for example, which are just awesome things. So let's do this. Let's get back and hopefully, let me see, where I want to go now is just share my screen again. And I just want to make sure that you're seeing that. I think that is what you're seeing. So Masami's update. Now, what I wanted to do was do something just a little bit different to consolidate, if you like, what Masami is saying. So I'm just going to stop the share a second. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because I want to show you something else. And where I want to go is, if I just get back over here, so sorry to be looking away. I should be kind of looking directly at you right there. But anyway, I've got so many windows open because there's so many things that we want to share with you. But again, lovely to have Masami sharing those things right there. So where I want to go, first of all, is I want to go back to the conference, because I promised you that I'd be talking with you about some other things around creating, or rather playing, a bigger game. So what I'm going to do is just share another link right here. And this is a link that I want you to go to. In fact, this particular link, let me change it for a minute. I'm going to just scroll down, is on the B1G1 side. And what we're going to do on the email that we send you, we are going to give you this link to get to this page. This is the B1G1 conference page. Now, what we want you to do, I mean, there's that video you saw before. And then this is that very, very stunning video from Simon Sinek. Make certain that you go there and you click the play button. Simon talks about some stuff on that particular video that he's never spoken about before. And right towards the end of it, he gives you this really interesting, insightful piece. Simon doesn't use the word playing a bigger game, but what he does talk about is vision that you can see. And he talks about all purpose being human. I want you to have a look at that. This one is, now this is, I'm going to come back to this in just a moment. You see two children here. This lady, she is 15 years old, and this guy is 11 years old. And they are now part of B1G1, but I'm going to come back to them in just a moment. Many of us, well, all of us are leaders. And when when Masami mentioned the thank you group, this is a stunning, stunning, stunning example of a number of things: how you build great businesses, how you go through adversity to do it, how you can do things that have never been done before, that raise you all sorts of interesting money, for example. And this guy really gets it. His name is Daniel Flem. And particularly right now, as you're watching perhaps this particular point in time, the Olympics, and one of the events, I think it just finished, is the rowing event. There is a fabulous, on this particular link right here, there is a fabulous example of what Daniel thinks about leadership, and it comes back to a rowing analogy, and I want you to have a look at that. I so want you to have a look at that. So there's lots of other things on this page, lots and lots and lots of things that would be worth worth having a look at. But what I want to do is go back and talk about these young kids here. Now, this is Dali and Finn. Now, their story is an amazing story. It happened that we got to meet these kids because they were introduced to us by a B1G1, Kevin Euphemy, a B1G1 partner. These guys are now B1G1. What they do is they make T-shirts, and their story is amazing because for every T-shirt, kids in India get uniforms, but there's so much else to this story, including how they realized that B1G1 was really going to give them some fascinating things that would help them scale their business in new ways. This young lady here, you're going to hear about when I take you to the resource. You are going to hear about how she got to work with Donna Karan. So let me just change the share again so that we can, this is how we're going to say our farewells today, by having a look at this video. Please, I mean, I'm going to give you the link, or we're going to give you the link to it anyway, but let me just change the share right here. Here we go. So that we can go straight to this particular video. We are going to jump up into Vimeo, and we are going to share this screen right now, right here. There we go. So what I want you to do is just sit back and have a look at this. And this is really going to inspire your day. Have a look.
This is Nalu, a hip streetwear clothing company based a few blocks from the beach in Bali. And these are Nalu's founders, Dali and Finn Schoenfelder. These two unassuming teenagers are disrupting the fashion industry and changing lives in the process.
Everything you wear shares something about you to the outside world, right? So like from color to style to fit to fabric, every aspect of your clothing has the potential to either like make your day really great or make your day really bad, you know? And Nalu products take it one step further in that every time you wear your Nalu t-shirt, you know that children are staying on school because of you. It's really tough out there in India.
The Nalu story begins a few years back on a family trip to India. Dolly and Finn's parents are chiropractors and started volunteering at a local school, bringing their kids along who were 8 and 11 at the time.
We learned their local language a little bit, and we learned their like dances, and we ate their local food, and it was so amazing just seeing them. We loved it so much that every year we wanted to go back there.
One year, when we came back, our friends weren't there anymore, so we were so concerned. So we asked everyone in the village, where are our friends, where are our friends? And then they said that they had to leave because they didn't have a school uniform.
Without a school uniform, you can't go to school. It's like the key to school. The government pays for school fees and uniforms only up until they're 12 years old. But after 12, they stop with the uniform contribution, which causes like enormous school dropout levels in these poor communities.
Dolly and Finn soon learned that having a school uniform wasn't just a way towards continuing education, but a vital component towards leading a livable life. The schools provide food, water, and housing outside of the classroom, and keep the kids from early marriages and having to work all day on assembly lines.
We just couldn't believe what was happening there, that they had to leave school and work in factories for the rest of their lives if they didn't have such a small thing, just a uniform.
As a 13-year-old girl, I was like, this is insane, you know? So that was the thing that really, really stuck with me. And I guess Nalu really started out from there. That was like our key moment of like, wow, we have to do something.
And so they did. Now through both their online and retail stores, Dolly and Finn are making waves. For every article of clothing they sell, they give a school uniform to a child in need.
We've given over 1,000 school uniforms now.
And they've committed to replacing uniforms for kids when they outgrow them, so that they can see their education and childhood through.
It was really memorable seeing the first school uniform recipients growing up and still being at school, happy.
It just feels so great to know the impact. Like right now, there's been a 78% increase in enrollment at the first school that we gave school uniforms to.
78% increase in enrollment. That's astonishing. And Dolly and Finn's goal is to eventually give 20,000 uniforms each month. To do that, they discovered a simple and extremely effective tool, the Global Business Giving Initiative Buy One, Give One.
Once Nalu starts to get bigger and we sell more things, I feel like that would be a little bit too much to handle for our giving. That's one of the reasons why we love B1G1.
But it's not the only reason. Dolly and Finn realized how much more they could do through Buy One, Give One because of the ease of use and huge choice of projects they can now give to. This gives them more time to focus on growing their business.
So before I knew it, I was on my way to New York all by myself.
Dolly loves fashion designer Donna Karan and decided to travel halfway around the world for a chance to meet her in person. She waited and waited outside headquarters, and her patience paid off. Not only did Donna Karan take the meeting, she ended up a Nalu fan herself.
I did my presentation, and I think I really inspired her with Nalu. So she got all of the few $1,000s worth of products.
And who can blame her? It's hard not to be mesmerized by these kids and their passion, making it so easy to imagine that as Nalu grows and the Buy One, Give One model spreads, a world full of business giving can create a wondrous world for us all.
You should be able to let the way you live be the way you give. On my shirt.
That is just fascinating, isn't it? And we are going to put that link on the show notes, I guess you call it, so that you can see that and indeed share that. And all of the things that we've shared with you today in this B1G1 Connect Plus number 10. I want to thank you for being here wherever it is that you've come from. We are just so privileged to be able to do what we do with you. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Looking forward to connecting some more soon. Bye. Bye-bye.